What's happening, folks? This is Edo from Edo Outdoors 316. Thank y'all for joining me. Today I'm going to be trying for some crappie, and I'm going to be looking at some thermocline stuff. I'm going to be answering the question, do rivers form a thermocline? There's two answers to this question right there. Y'all stick around and find out. Never gonna ask you for money, but if y'all want to help me out by buying me a gallon of gas, click on that thumbs up for me. I appreciate it. Today I've got my normal setup that works for me 99% of the time. Right here, this is 1/16 ounce jig head chartreuse. This is Crappie hunter jig head. It's Cajun cricket, Bobby Garland, 8-pound test, high vis gold, Mr. Crappie. I've got what used to be a 12-foot B&M Buck's Best ultralight crappie pole right here. Is probably more about 10.5, 11 feet after all the tips have broken off over the years. Matter of fact, I've got a tip broken off right now and I haven't repaired it yet, so I'm fishing out of the next eye down. And this is just a little crappie hunter reel right here that's very low maintenance. You don't have to worry about getting any kind of hang-ups, you know, any kind of fish nets on there or anything. It just works real good, real cheap. Plastic little thumb nut right here. You loosen it, you can pull some out, tighten it back up. You also have a little bit of a drag there with it too. The tighter you get it, the tighter your drag is. Got a little handle on here, you can reel it up. This is not for casting out and reeling in. This is mainly for vertical jigging. Well, it's not mainly, it is for vertical jigging and nothing else. But my presentation is just a vertical jig, that is it. There he goes. Oh yeah, that's a big one. That is a big one. Man, look at the quality of these crappie. Better lip him. I don't think he's coming off, but I don't want my line to break. There we go. What a fine crappie that is. Fine, beautiful, healthy, white crappie. Hooked him right there in the top. Well over 12 inches. Definitely over 12 inches. Beautiful. Love it. Here's looking at you. Just let him go. Now, I ain't keeping nothing. I don't need to keep no fish. I do eat fish. I've had somebody comment, ask me, do I eat fish? Because I guess my last video, I put everything back. I do eat fish. I've got quite a bit of crappie in the freezer right now. I don't need no more in there. So we're gonna let these things go and spawn, unless I catch them later on or run out of fish. But either way, there's no sense in me keeping no fish today. He's happy to go back down there. Maybe I'll catch him again. I got you. Nice one, crappie. Nice crappie. Oh, fighting mad. Easy. Beautiful. Beautiful slab. Oh man, he's pooping. I'll let some of that drip down out there in the water. Ugh. watch him off. I'll tell y'all a story about a running back whose nickname was Cecil the Diesel Collins. Now, he was about the most exciting thing to come along in a very long time. He was destined to become a great star. In 1997, he started his very first game against Auburn, and he gained over 200 rushing yards in his very first game against Auburn, who had a very good defense. Now, the very next game they played Vanderbilt, broke his leg, had an injury, out for the rest of the year. Now, on the field during practice, everybody knew that Cecil the Diesel was a force to be reckoned with, and they had a really hard time stopping him. But off the field, when his mind was idle, the darkness of his soul came out. Now, Cecil got kicked off of the team because of something he did during the off season while he was off the field. He got picked up by McNeese State, did some other stuff, got kicked off again. Later on, he was signed by the Miami Dolphins, did some more stuff, got in some trouble. This time he spent 13 years in prison. And while he was in there, he found Christ, and he was delivered from all of that idle stuff. Now, some of you may want to skip past this if you want to, but I hope you're not the one who struggles with this and doesn't understand it. I'm not going to dive into the spirit world on this, but I am going to tell you what Jesus says about it right here from the Bible. I'm going to read to you. The first of this comes from Luke chapter 11. This is verses 24 through 26. And this is Jesus talking. He says, "When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, he findeth none. He saith, I will return into the house from whence I came out. And when he cometh, he findeth it swept and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of the man is worse than the first." Something else, another one that kind of goes along with this too, right here. This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 22. I'm going to read part of this, and this Peter speaking says, "The dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the sow that was washed to her wallowing in the mire." Now, as we've got a habit or some kind of darkness that comes out in us, and it keeps coming back, Jesus just explains what happens right there. If we're sitting idle, we allow this stuff to come back. So
when I broke my leg, my idle mind, it was bad for me.
the only way to defeat this is through Jesus Christ, by knowing him and allowing his spirit to live in us. And we cannot be idle. I know it's tough. Sometimes we just want to sit back and relax, but we cannot be idle, because if we do, we give a foothold for the devil to come right back in. If y'all want to know more about Cecil the Diesel Collins, I'll leave a link to a video that talks about his story. It's very interesting. Found it very moving. If y'all want to watch it, check it out. Anyway, let's get back to catching some crappie. There he is. Bet that's another big one. Oh, back over here. Back over here. Oh, come on, you ain't a bass. We'll pull him up in here. What another fatty. I ain't gonna measure him. He's only about 12 inches. I ain't gonna measure that one. But that's still a good old fat crappie. Got a little light speck on him right there. I don't know if we can pick that up in the camera. Little light speck right there. Iridescent. Good, healthy, fat. Adios. Like it got my Bobby Garland off of there. We got us a thermocline going on out here at about 10 feet deep, so they're not as deep. You know, this is August the 7th, I believe. They're not as deep. So this is just a tree that comes out here off of the bank. Off of the bank right over there. To answer the question as to whether or not a river will form a thermocline or not, there's two different answers. If there's no current flowing, like the conditions we have right here, there will be a thermocline, and it's right about 12 feet right now. But when the current is flowing, the thermocline will disappear. What this is down here is low oxygen water, and above it has more oxygen in it. You can see how it forms a line on the graph. The fish will hang close to this thermocline so they'll feel the most comfortable. The deeper the water, the cooler the water, but below the thermocline is less oxygen. They like to be close to structure, so when there's a thermocline, they like to hang out near a horizontal limb that's close to the thermocline. They won't be stacked up as much vertically, but they will be stretched out horizontally along a limb. Oh! Another big one. Another big one. Wow. Oh, wow, look at this big slab right here. Man, what a fat hog. Let me get this out of there, I'm gonna show y'all. What a absolute monstrous crappie. Love it. Absolutely love these big fatties. Ooh, the other way. The other way. Oh, there he went. A little disoriented there. This bigger leaf stuff out here is called water hyacinth, and it is causing a big problem out here on the river, especially in some of the backwater areas. Some of the little lakes that are kind of connected to the river are just completely choked off with these weeds. And they're trying, I can see they're making efforts at trying to get rid of those weeds, but they have not had any success. I've been watching them for the last 3 years. They'll come and they'll clean all of it out, and then the very next year it's there again. But this stuff only just floats. It floats around like a big old island, and it'll collect where, you know, along all of these stumps right here. And it's really kind of interrupting some really prime crappie fishing spots right here. But as you see right there, there's a stump right here. If you notice this stuff right here, it has these little bulbs on it right there, and that's all it is right there. That is the complete plant. And it makes those little purple flowers on it. You can see one right over there with purple flowers. They're quite pretty, but man, they'll choke up a place. But you can penetrate this stuff if you look for you a spot. You can actually penetrate it and go down underneath it, because this stuff's only maybe a foot or two, floating, you know, of maybe probably about a foot. So you just have to get past that initial part of it. And my water temp is 87 degrees right now, and the crappie are still biting up shallow. There we go. And I am actually anchored off on it right there because wind is blowing out here today. Oh yeah. A little crappie out of the weeds. This one ain't as big as the other ones, but that's alright, he's fun to catch. Barely got him. Just a little old crappie there.